Hold on a second. Hold on. Let me. Okay. Yo.
Yeah. Okay.
Ready.
All right. All right, let's get started. So I think for everyone, just to kind of get to know you a little bit, like tell us about yourself, you know, how you got started in AI, you know, all that.
So this is the thing I really want to emphasize to everybody today. It's very nice to have you guys, to meet you guys, and Valerie, Keegan, thank you for having me. But the one thing I want to emphasize is I think everybody's in the same boat, unless you're like an AI, like you work for a big company and you're actually working on a specific product. But I chose to be an AI. I just saw it. I saw it and I said, okay, I'm very good at making content. You know, I'm starting to build my own platform. So I simply said, I'm going to go into this head first. Now, I reached a point recently where I said to myself, I make content about this every day. I know it's next. But the difference, like I did the same thing with NFTs in 2021. But I even actually, the difference, for those of you that don't know, my name is Sina. First of all, nice to meet everybody. I've worked in Web3 for the last 3 years. So I started off as a VP of Ops here in Las Vegas. I'm from Las Vegas, Nevada, for about a year. And I worked for a very nice lady. She was my first mentor. She was a Series A investor in Coinbase, and we were just an NFT development platform. But I don't know if any of you know who deadmau5 is. From there, he was building a music metaverse, and I was his NFT project manager product owner, I would say is a better description, for about 10 months until I joined. I went to Silicon Valley. The last year, I've been a COO at this company called Timely, and I've met my best friends, some of my best friends ever at this company, and I'm very grateful. Right now, I saw this AI wave coming in. For me, as I said, I started to build my own individual platform. And what I want to share with you guys today is simply the choice I made to just jump into this and integrate myself into this, and more so how you guys can do that. But also, I'm not here, excuse my language, I don't want to bullshit anybody. I want to give you guys a straight up direct path of how you guys can take advantage of this. I don't want to, if you see, one thing that is starting to get under my nerves, I try not under my skin, is, I see a lot of AI content. I try to study it to see, to get new information, see what people are posting. And it's all, I thought this to myself. I was like, everybody I see on screen is replaceable with someone else. No one, and that's why I made the decision to go, like, anybody saying the same thing, hey, Chat GPT, this is the top 3 prompts, and then this, that, and the third. And I'm starting to realize if you take this influencer and replace them with that one, it's still the same piece of content. So for me, I want to go deeper. I said, there has to be another, I want to build something, and I want to showcase me building that. I want to create different types of content. And so, yeah, mainly for what I want to share with you guys today is how you guys can get into the space yourselves. Because I'm not, just to clarify, I'm by no means an expert or an engineer myself yet.
I consider you an expert.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Well, I cannot hear you, Valerie.
Am I on mute?
No, you're good now. You fixed it.
Okay. Yeah. I was just saying that I do consider you an expert because you do take the time. A lot of us have busy lives, and I feel like you, out of a lot of people that I know, actually spend a lot of time exploring all the different AIs and how they can be used in everyday life. So I kind of wanted to hear a little bit more about why do you think people should be using AI? I think there's a lot of talk right now that AI is going to replace teachers, it's going to replace a lot of different jobs. So I just kind of wanted to start with why should people learn about AI, and do you think it will replace jobs?
So that's actually that's why I'm starting to really, I'm not comfortable talking about myself. I'm usually what Valerie is. I like asking the questions to you. I'm not the person. She calls me an expert. I get a little bit, my face gets red. So thank you. But what I want is, that's something I'm in technology. The last 3 years, I've built my skill set. I don't want to really, I went to ETH Denver and I saw Keegan and Valerie there, but I don't know about you two, but I thought everybody there was very smart and some of the best builders, but I thought it was lame. It was a waste of time for everybody. Everybody was building software, database computing software on this special EVM based chain. How is that going to help, as you said, the teacher? I want to build technology for the people in the trenches. And for me, what's been a little bit concerning for me across the world, Dropbox just fired 500 people yesterday. I'm trying to pay attention to all of this and see all these big tech layoffs. So Valerie, to answer your question, I do believe it will, unfortunately, just because I had a talk with someone I knew about 2-3 years ago. He was the former attorney general for Nevada. So he's a pretty, knowledgeable person, but he's very interested in tech. And he said this, he was talking to the owner. I don't know if you guys have Capriati's out in San Diego, the sandwich shop. Do you, Valerie?
I don't think so.
No, really? Okay, it's like a Subway. Sorry, it's in Vegas. It's like, but he said, Sina, why would I hire a new batch of employees when a robot in 10 years will make my money back, never calls off, never feels emotional about his girlfriend doing something to them, his boyfriend doing something to them, never gets sick, never gets cold, never's late to work, never complains, and works at night. So why wouldn't I make an investment into that? And so there's a lot of people who, the people we care about, the blue collar workers in the trenches, who, guys, let's be honest, they're working 12-hour shifts. There's no way this news won't hit them. So how are they going to be able to defend against this? That's my whole thing. For me, I realized this. This is what I realized 3 years ago, is this whole content is king, the whole posting content thing. I do get embarrassed when people label me as a creator, because I think I'm more than that. But I'm realizing now, as an employer, guys, if you were to put yourself in the shoes of a $500 million worth person CEO in San Francisco or anywhere in New York, you have two options, a robot and a human, for any job. More than likely, you're going to go with the robot. Why would you go with the human? If the human can somehow generate me money. So for me, how do we do that? If these robots can outcompete us in everything, right? What can they not do, though? They cannot, for now, I hope not. They can't spend money and give attention. That's what we have an advantage on. So for me, I said to myself, use my personality, post content about my skill set, and help the companies I work with. That was my mindset. That's been my mindset for 3 years. My little sister, her and I always argue. She's in medical school at TCU. I said, Sarah, post content about medicine. She has no interest in doing such a thing. So for me, I urge you all out there. I know here's the cool thing, though. This is what I want to share with you, what I discovered recently. If you don't want to put your face on camera, don't. There's no need. That's what I recently discovered, is this AI. I don't know if any of you have heard this. Valerie, have you heard AI Drake and Weeknd, that song?
I have, yes.
Everybody's going crazy about that. I realized this. Think about, anybody can build any character. This is literally it's kind of weird to think about, but people like this whole NFT wave from 2021. Let's think about this rationally. If you take a step back from all these meetups we go to, these NFT NYC, these meetups you go to, let's take a step back. What is this really? These people put verified pictures to represent their identities. You could turn these identities, Utes, a cool cat, a doodle, into anything. This doodle 8567 might put out 10 songs with Drake's voice and become a verified artist on Spotify. So I thought this to myself. I'm like, this is something. Hold on a sec. Hold on. I don't know if any of you have ever seen Ready Player One and that whole concept of the person behind the screen. I hit up my friend the other day and I said, hey, you know how to make music. You suck at making content. I'll make content for you for fun at night. Let's build a fake account. Let's build an account on the side. Let's see what we can do. This is an experiment I'm going to try, because there's a marketing strategy I'm going to try for 30 days, see if it works. But this is just I realize people are I don't want to put my face on camera. Don't. Create an anonymous, create a persona. But the point is, build leverage, build a ball of attention, so that wherever you go in life, you have leverage going forward. That's my main thing. Sorry, I spoke a lot.
No, you're good. We're here to listen to you. So I want to hear, that's really good insight, I think, for people who are interested in wanting to do content and trying to figure out how they can use AI to make a persona. But what about for the average person who's not looking to do any content or be on video, on camera? What about for people who are just, sending out emails or just need things to make their lives easier? What are some top AI tools that you recommend or that you see are trending right now?
Well, if in this case, this is what I urge. Everybody will tell you chat any AI tool. And I'm going to go ahead and say, I'm not going to give you guys the easy sauce. Learn, don't master it. Spend a month, 30 days, learn the basics of Python. No one wants to hear that. No one wants to look and learn. That's only a specific amount of people. I know no one wants to hear that. But let's think about, I'm trying to think about this rationally. I don't want to learn Python, but I thought if I can learn to at least use the OpenAI, the ChatGPT API to create something called Auto GPT. I don't know if any of you've seen content about that. It's literally ChatGPT that acts autonomously on your computer. I want to learn how to operate that, and I want to learn how to get it to post my content, because then I will be able to run 5, 6, 7 accounts. I'll be a machine. So I'm very interested. That's what I'm interested in. So my thing is spend a week. You will learn how to do this in 1 week. This is not, I'm not asking, you don't need to learn Python. To learn the basics of Python to the point where you can take that API and attach it to a no-code software. Whatever you want, let's say you love gaming, build something in gaming, use that API. That's all I'm saying is I don't know what all of you like in your lives. I have very specific interests. You guys, I'm sure, do yourselves. But what I can tell you is that API, that GPT-4 API, which I know is scary to think about because none of us are in tech. Not me. I'm in the same boat as you guys here. I just want to make that clear. If you can spend 5 to 7 days, I'm watching these people that have no tech experience, say on Twitter, I spent 5 days and now look what I built. If you could spend 5 days learning how to use that API, I think you guys can build something and sell it or build something very unique, in my opinion. But I think that I'm not going to tell you to use Midjourney because I'm not going to tell you specific prompts for ChatGPT. We all know how to type. Since we were kids, we've been doing this. So I'm not going to give you that face value content. But if you guys take the initiative, like go look at everybody doing one thing, go take it a step further. That's my advice.
That's some good advice. I appreciate that. So what about, I don't know, does anybody have any questions? Like, what do you guys want to learn or get his insight on? So someone wants to circle back. What's your name?
Yeah.
Dan. So Dan wants to circle back to Auto GPT. For those who don't know, what is Auto GPT?
Auto GPT is the thing I'm most interested in. It's basically an AI that thinks on its own. So Auto GPT is Chat GPT that thinks so you give it a task, a goal, and it creates its set of tasks to execute that goal. You could say, hey, get me 50 million followers on Twitter. It will continuously write code and create tasks and continuously repeat until it fails, until it achieves that goal. It could take a year. That's the crazy point, or you could stop it, obviously. But for me, I want to find a way to give it access to I know it's going to sound a little bit risky. I'm going to create test accounts and try this first, but I want to give it access to my accounts and see if it can post I want to do something crazy and post my content. I'm very interested in the concept of Jarvis and Iron Man. That's basically what Auto GPT is. And I go ahead if someone says something.
I was just raising my hand. I wanted to add further to Dan's question. Because you have a great video of this, actually, don't you? Where it goes through the process and you show each part of it as it's testing. You prompted it with the question or the scenario, right? And then doesn't it start to go through each scenario and start building it until it gives you the final output of what to post up or what to build?
Yeah, people were building different variations of this, and they were giving it the API and creating different versions of an Auto GPT. This is the thing, it's super raw. Like I couldn't give it my Twitter, but it was very interesting because it tried. It literally said to me, hey, brother, it's in its own coding language. I don't have access to your Twitter. I'm trying to do this, but I don't have access to your Twitter. So when it said that to me, I was laughing. I was like, we're one step away. And I think it's going to happen within the next month. So this is very interesting to me. It's actually kind of fun to pay attention to, but yeah. And I would say at the end of this year, there's a chance all of us in this conference, in this little meetup, can have our own, end of next year at least, our own agent, which is going to be crazy. It's going to change the game. Our own little Jarvis. Imagine that. Wow.
Any other questions? Yeah, what's your name? Mohan.
What was the question?
So Mohan asked, in industries like healthcare, what are some of the strategies they can use AI?
That's the industry that, I'm most closely tied to. My whole family, my parents are doctors, my sister's very narcissistic upcoming doctor. So that's I'm very interested in that field because, you know, yeah, I'm curious how that's very this is something that I'm hoping healthcare. So I saw this video of a robot performing a surgery and fixing someone's teeth. I think that right now, tools like Chat GPT, I just saw that they're working on implementing them into robots. I think right now, this is the next step. They're going to create robots where surgeons are not just going to do it with their own hands, where there's a chance of a misstep. Your hand, honestly, surgeons' hands are known for being very still, but, you know, not as still as a robot. So I feel like doctors are going to learn to operate these robotics more and more. But I don't think that's very straightforward. I think healthcare I think out of all, if you look at all the industries, it's like the in-person, in real life industries, I think healthcare it might not be as replaceable as the restaurant industry, where I come from, for example, but I do think it's going to impact it greatly. So if this is what I tell my sister is, I think healthcare is if you're in healthcare, let's be honest, that's very impressive. Like, that's a specialty. Like, you're not just learning a generalized knowledge base. So I feel like at that point, you're going to have to learn how to change. You're going to have to do kind of a 180, a 360, and think outside the box. Whereas you learn how to operate these machines. You have your knowledge base of the human body. That's where learning how to code, learn how to operate these machines. That's where I think it is the best way to prepare for that. But in reality, for healthcare guys, I can't answer that to the best of my ability. I'm being honest. I wish I could, though. That's the answer I'm chasing the most, though, to be honest. Is the healthcare. I'm very interested in that, and the AI convergence with that space.
So I've actually seen, like, early on, like maybe months ago, like right when I started hearing about AI, I started seeing these posts that AI is passing the MCAT, right, the medical.
Oh yeah.
Right, the lawyer, the bar exam. You know, AI is passing all of these exams. Do you see that AI could potentially be your lawyer in court or your mental health person, like if your therapist, if they're passing, you know, these certifications?
Yeah, this is the thing that's very scary to me is I'm trying to find ways to say no. While you were asking that question, I was literally thinking to myself, like, no, we could do this. And then I realized to myself, in 10 years, let's think at the rate of progression. As you said, you read this in January. When I think, no, it wasn't January, it was like February, March, right? But I remember I saw that article as well. I think that, as I said, once they build these things into robots, into any softwares, we mentioned teachers earlier. That's the one my grandparents are professors. You know, that's why they hang their hat on that. I think teachers I'm very curious to see. I think if I'm a teacher, I'm actually kind of more confident, though. If I'm a teacher, at the end of the day, here's what I realized is, yeah, I do think they can replace it, like they can do the job, but I just think the experience is better with the human behind it. I think when you combine, yes, the robot can do it with 99.9% accuracy, but if you have human emotion, human authenticity to create a specific brand, a specific product, that's why I talked about in content at the beginning, is if you can sprinkle your touch on it, then yeah, you have a really good product. And no, you're standing out no matter what your space is. So my answer to everything is, you see these, I didn't want to tell you guys to use Midjourney, but go use Midjourney, type in different prompts, create different art styles, use to talk to these things, but learn how to adapt it to your skill set. This is what I keep telling people is, recently, Valerie, like Keegan, I'm sure you guys talked to a lot of people at ETH Denver. Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For those who don't know, ETH Denver is a conference for developers in the Web3 space.
Yeah, so I'll also to add to that, so Sina posts up regularly. I don't know if anybody looked him up at all, like, oh, let's see what is he about before you came here. But he's pretty consistent about putting content out, and it's been pretty much AI themed for quite some time now, I'd say, right? Like,
I call it growth tech, where I just cover tech that grows.
Growth tech. But no, like I appreciate watching your videos and and reading your tweets and everything, because I think it's super valuable knowledge. Like, and you give great examples and great visuals, how to like basically set up this, AI system, and then it can like send all the tweets when you need to, and copy and paste all these different variations that can help basically streamline things for you to make things like smoother for you. to be more like, in a sense, more to create more time for yourself to do other things, or to actually just streamline processes, right?
Here's what I'll say is to everybody there is I want to try something out. Like, give me, like, if you guys could give me 2-3 weeks, if you guys are interested, you guys could be my test group, where I'm going to make sure this is like safe and it's on a private browser and it only has limited access. So I don't think I'm going to do something crazy, but I want to create probably a UI. I'm going to create a nice, I have this idea. Okay. So think about this right now. ChatGPT is like little search bar, and you type it and it gives you an answer back. So I want to learn auto GPT. And I was thinking about this today. I want to create an interface where I create a character and it's a talking head and it talks to you. So what I want to do is I'm going to create an auto GPT version of this. My thought process, just so all of you guys will know, is I want to, if this works with you, you guys can all have this. I'm hoping if this works, I could sell this in the future for a lot of money. But you guys, I want to see, you guys are more than welcome if you guys want to, maybe you guys learn how to customize it yourself or do whatever you want with it. But I'm going to make this very simple. In the next 2-3 weeks, I'm going to learn how to do this. And I'm going to see if I could create a useful tool for you guys where I know none of you guys want to hear me talk about posting content. I get no one, even I'll be honest with you guys, Keegan, bro, I hate posting content. Like I get excited about you guys.
I like absorbing it. Like I like what someone else is doing.
No, I know. I said like like you can even ask Valerie how hard it was for her to get me on this call. It's not because I'm very antisocial. Like I'm very stingy with my time for some reason. But I realized this, like if I could create, I realized the importance of posting content, and I realized, like as I said, the importance of me like telling people about this. So I know no one wants to do this, but if I can create a tool where you can create your tailored content and say, hey, take care of this, post it, and make sure it does well. I want to get good views. So if it doesn't do well, my next content, reiterate. Like I want that robot to think for itself. If I can create something like that, maybe you guys might be more interested in posting more or getting into that. And again, as I said, I would like some of you, like you're in healthcare out. Someone said, Mohan, if you're in healthcare, bro, I would love for us to see some, like if you're a surgeon, if you're a nurse, if you're whatever it is that you do, even if you're at the front desk, I would love to see specific content based on, that's the type of content I want to see. I want to see the behind the scenes of the front desk person that talks to all the doctors or the doctor or the dentist or the nurse. I don't want to see these AI influencers talking about the same stuff I see that I actually like study the engineers that talk about this. So that's what I want to create a product maybe that might help you guys. So hopefully Valerie, I'll get in touch with Valerie in a couple of weeks when this is done. And everybody that was on this call, I'll email something specific for you guys. You guys can try it out. And I'll make sure it's all good. I'm not going to send you guys some unsafe stuff. You can try it out on a private browser, make sure it works well. And yeah, see, I'll make it simple. I want to make it simple for you guys. But I want to, hopefully I can show you guys like what it can really do, what AI can really do. That's my goal. I don't know if it'll work, but hopefully.
Well, that's really cool. We appreciate that. For anyone like who is interested in maybe teaming up with you or wants to build this out, like how can you be reached? Because I had a hard time reaching out to you.
well, hold on. If you guys actually want to build, like that's a different story. If you guys want to, I'll 24. So let's get to work. I love working with people. I'm very open to collabing. As I said, I'm just very, sometimes it's hard for me to talk about myself, but surprisingly, I know Keegan, but if anybody wants to get in touch with me, I would say I'm not Twitter's trash. I'll be honest. My Instagram and my TikTok, my YouTube. I'm restarting my podcast. I'm actually interviewing some very big people coming in next week or the week after. Very big people. I'm actually shocked at how I got these people lined up. But yeah, I'm restarting my podcast and my newsletter. So I would say the best way, I would follow myself on Instagram and send me a DM, Instagram or Twitter, or email me. I'll most likely respond to my email, I would say.
And what's your email?
Pahlevan, Pahlevan, Sina, Sina @gmail.com. So maybe I can text that to you or something. But again, whatever the case may be, if you guys are busy, everybody's attention is the most important currency. I don't deserve any of your attention, but I will send Valerie a link to this product. And if you guys can try, if you guys are interested, if I can create something that can post content for you guys, I think you guys will at least look this way for a little bit.
Yes. Do you have a question over
It's not a question. I don't know if you've heard of a DID. So it's like a
yeah.
AI. Yeah, so it's probably what you're trying to kind of implement. It's pretty simple right now for that, but you can kind of manage talking more.
You know, hey, it's funny you say that. DID.com, it was last Saturday, I did some stupid video. I was like, I even put the video, I filmed it. I said, this is how you make a bullshit video that gets lots of views. Because I keep seeing people using DID. I made the video with DID and it went viral and yeah, took my account to another level. So yeah, I'm a big fan of DID. I owe DID. I don't hear anything. Hello? I didn't.
So he's just kind of going over is it DID? Is that what you said? Yeah. And so Sina, so what is back and forth conversation then kind of with the AI or what is it then?
No, DID is you can upload any character. You can even upload your own portrait you create or something of yourself, as long as it's not like copyrighted material. But
PFP?
What?
Well, can it be a PFP?
Yeah, you can put your literally. No one's done this yet. That's why I made like 3 videos about. Bro, you can put your. It's like, don't get me wrong. It's not like amazing. Oh my god, it looks so realistic, but it's kind of neat. And I think it'll get your PFP's lips to move. So you literally type, "Hey, I'm Keegan's PFP. I'm his on one force," and boom, it'll say that in whatever voice you want it to. And it's like it'll produce a video for you.
Okay, I gotta check this out.
Yeah, bro, I'm surprised. Yeah, I'll send it to you after. Yeah.
And then there's also the Unreal Engine that you put on YouTube, like how they implement like 10 minutes. Like 10 minutes, like they'll show impressions, 10 minutes to put everything into the AI, and like probably like I forgot your name,
Brandon.
But yeah, you were talking about the movies. Probably for the future, characters are probably not going to be in the movies. They're probably going to sell their face in the movie. So like,
similar to like CGI already. Like,
what did he say about selling his face? Did he say something about selling a face?
so we're talking about money, right? So we're talking about movies. We're thinking about like AI in the future.
I can't hear Valerie. I want to hear this.
Oh, maybe if you, I don't know.
Yeah.
Is the mic right here?
the mic
So-
is, I think it's the.
So I'm talking about movies and AI
Oh.
in the future. Yeah. So Brandon here is regarding movies, but I'm saying that in the future, there's going to be no actors. You're probably going to sell your face, like the rights to use your face in it. So Tom Cruise not going to do the stunts anymore. You know, he's just going to get paid for sitting home. So that way,
Like Carrie Fisher and
yeah, it's like VR, but we're going to have it in real life. So we're actually not going to go probably into VR. We're probably going to be living like this, but our characters are going to be VR and artificial intelligence, and then it's going to be constant. Let's say. I heard one person told me a couple years ago, like, there's no like rock stars anymore. It's only rappers. Like, who are we going to listen to in like 50 years? You know, and in 50 years, probably going to be an AI concert of some rock stars back from 50. You know, like Michael Jackson in Vegas. He knows better. Yeah. So it's.
Yeah, honestly, you're right. I think in like 10 years, it might be insane EDM with like Michael Jackson, Drake, Elvis in one song. I think it's kind of what you're saying. It makes it sound like you're saying that the individual isn't really that important anymore. Whether it's more so the product the individual produces that's important.
He's important. It's just what's the point of him going out and selling and going to the movies and where you can sell your face?
Yeah,
we're moving. We can't stop this, right? So why?
Yeah, you're right.
You know?
I work a 12-hour day filming.
Yeah, you so imagine sitting home and making money from nothing. Face. But the whole problem is we're gonna have the database. Facebook
Ooh, Valerie, can you fix the mic?
Test 1 2. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. I want to join the conversation as well. Sorry. I still can't hear. No. Yeah. I'm trying to act like I hear, like nodding my head.
the laptop.
If you mute yours, I can tell around. Okay, hold on. Yes.
Ooh.
Can you hear me?
I hear you. Yeah.
I can hear myself.
Yeah. Wow. I hear you.
So what we're talking. It's because you have in the microphone, the speaker.
There
How
we
about
go.
if can you hear me now?
Yeah, very well, very well.
Okay.
Pass that computer.
Okay. So yeah, so we're talking about I'm talking about database. Like we're moving from Facebook, Google database to becoming a global database. Who's gonna hold all the database for, let's say, your character in AI, and then all like health? Like who's gonna hold the health information? Because with AI, let's say a robot's gonna make a surgery. So if you really think about it, in the future, you're going to have predictions. You don't have to guess, oh, we can do this and this might work for you, or you can go this way and this might work. That's how it works these days. But in the future, there's going to be technology going to say, hey, if your sugar level is this, or if you're diabetes and you're 35 and your heart rate is like this, you need to drink 2 pills a day. You know, there's going to be database.
I think
AI is going to give you the answer what to drink and how much to drink. It's not going to be a pharmacist going to tell you what to do. Who's going to hold a database?
say what you just, you said something huge that we didn't even talk about. What do you think all these big companies are racing for? Everybody's saying race for AI. No one's talking, the news outlets aren't covering this yet. It's the race for the everything app. Everybody, Microsoft, Google, what you said, who's going to get that database? Who's going to build? If you want to look at the prelude for this, look at WeChat. They're rushing to build a global WeChat, as you said. So yeah, that's for me. Google, Microsoft, all these, they're gonna back a social platform. They're gonna back, they're all gonna back an AI model, and yeah, they're gonna rush to build the everything app. That's what everybody's trying to build. Yes.
Okay. Everybody's talking about AI, but not everybody thinks about the back end of it and where the information is getting.
Yeah, that's why people who are saying, Google started out rough. I feel like they rushed their process due to the success of ChatGPT, but they do have the largest database in the world.
But let's say we have AI, and like right now we have Yelp saying we need a business. Like I need a plumber. So you go around, you're like, oh, I need a 5-star review plumber. But those 5-star reviews, they're sketchy. Like, do you trust them? Yes or no? And let's say AI will figure out a best plumber for you in your area who knows what to do, the exact job that you need to be done, instead of going and say, hey guys, do you do this?
Well, here's the thing this is where I disagree, is the AI will be the plumber. I don't think the AI will look at a human and say, oh, this human's better than the other. It'll say, no, I can do this myself. It'll recommend a robot, I think. Or maybe or maybe I don't know. Maybe plumbers they'll be robot. I agree. Actually, I see what you're. I agree with that. What I would say is, the only thing I will say is, I do think there is value though in human reviews. So I think your review for a product will be authenticated through an NFT. I do still see value. I think that's the more. But I do see your point where I just think if we're gonna see, or let's say I want to go to a restaurant. I don't want to hear the robot give me options on food. It doesn't eat food. I want to hear a collective of people tell me what's the best food. But in terms of, I agree with what you're saying, basically. Yeah. That's going to be the case for everything.
It's going to be like a person telling you cannot make a difference if it's a person or a robot.
Yeah. That's what
I'm talking to you.
Huh?
There you go.
Okay, so this is it's piggybacking off of an earlier question. I think a way that AI could be used in the healthcare space is with diagnosis, and this is kind of like the intro to my question. Fundamentally, I think AI is, if you have perfect inputs, you want it to give you a perfect output with the right information. And I think with Bard and Google, we saw an example of a good input getting a bad output, and it gave false information, and that was the problem. And I'm thinking that right now, I'm wondering if you have a sense of where the accuracy level is with AI right now, because if you have perfect inputs, it can still give you an imperfect output. And to use cars, for example, people need a perfect output with lane assist, with auto driving. Do you have a sense of where AI is in terms of its output accuracy?
Yeah, so I want to say two things. I actually agree with you, because it's happened to me myself where it's happened to you, sure, I'm sure, when you've used ChatGPT. But I want to talk about that Bard thing, because I made a video on it and it blew my mind. So when the Bard thing happened, do you remember how Google stock plummeted? I made a video about it saying, oh, Google messed up, Bard messed up, they had the wrong information. Well, I checked, and you should check to make sure I'm right or wrong here. I checked 2 weeks ago, and it turns out it actually said, in a weird way, it was technically correct, the statement it said. It just, the way the article explained it to be like that. So I don't know if it's true. You should check it out or not. I do think, though, to answer your point, AI just doesn't understand, as I said earlier, it doesn't understand human experience. So for people to say, that's why I don't think you guys should be, obviously, you know, the statistics, the facts are facts, right? A lot of people will lose jobs. Doesn't mean it's going to be us. So I don't know who all you guys are, but I know all of us in this room, in this conference can do it. So I personally think I wouldn't look at this space and be like, oh no, it's coming. I would feel optimistic. That's why I'm learning how to code. I don't care about computers. That's not my specialty. It's not fun to me, but I'm being curious, you know? So to answer your question, I don't think in terms of data statistics and quantifiable data, sure. I think AI can operate with 99.9% accuracy, but what product sells in this world? Experience, how we feel. At the end of the day, we're the ones spending the money. You know, it's scary to think about. I don't even want to talk about, because once robots can spend money, that's when we're in danger. But at the end of the day, that's our power is. We spend the money. We give the people, our attention is what's valued. So to create something that we would like, any human would like, there has to be an experience. That's where I think humans stand out. So I don't think, in terms of, will a robot ever give a great 99, hey, I had a bad day with my girlfriend, what should I say tomorrow to make her like me? I don't think a robot will ever be able to answer that. So that's where I think we'll always have, if this makes sense, that's why there'll see a gap in the market.
There's definitely a subjective element to it, but like in a legal sense, for example, where input need to give a correct output, like if the inputs are 100% accurate, the output should be 100% accurate. Do you have a sense of where AI is in terms of input to output accuracy?
2 years.
If it's 100% right on the in, and it's not a subjective question like a diagnosis, for example, legal advice. Do you have any idea from your research and what you've been doing, how accurate?
To answer your question, when I've prompted it correctly on data it has access to, it has never, I'm trying to think, it's never given me an out. Now it's given me many incorrect outputs when I've asked it to analyze generalized data and give an assumption. But when it has access to a data pool, I've never had an experience where ChatGPT gave me a wrong output. Now, I can't answer, this is where I get annoyed, where I want to stand out from other creators, where I want to be able to answer, I want to be able to understand the difference in parameters. I think right now, the newest GPT-4 is pretty amazing. I really recommend, that's why I want to learn this API. I'm pretty confident this thing does not make mistakes when it has access to that quantifiable data. And when I say quantifiable data that does not measure emotion, as you just said.
Non-subjective data.
Yeah, as you just said. So from a legal framework, I think right now, if these things start, the one example I can point to, I don't know about any of your political beliefs. I've heard rumors. I've never cared to test it out, but I've heard rumors it's biased on both sides, actually. Not ChatGPT, I've heard people I've seen it online who've prompted this thing and have seen, that's where I think it depends on the companies that create this. I think these models should stay out of religion and politics, stuff that matter to humans, in my opinion. I don't think it should try and give opinions or stuff on that, because when someone reads something wrong, it'll look at the company behind it. I don't think, other than that, I think right now these products are pretty, if you ask it to run code for you, do you write a code for a game? Do you think it'll mess up? I don't think it'll mess up, I think it'll give you what you prompted. So I think its output is based, I believe right now, to answer your question, is I guess its output is accurately based off its input, but I do believe us as humans need to get better at giving it what data we give it, shape it. That's what I want to learn, is how do I customize this model based off a specific data set? And we need to learn how to prompt these things better. Let me ask you a question. Have you had an experience personally? Because have you had an experience where you've used it and you're like, that was a very straightforward prompt and it gave me the wrong answer?
I've asked it videography questions, which are somewhat subjective, I would say artistic in nature, but from my experience, it's pretty much always accurate if you can prompt it correctly. And I think that's where I think trust is capital. And I think a lot of these companies have to ensure that their customer base trusts the model and trusts the output is going to be reflective of the input.
Do you have access to Bing Chat?
Problem that Google ran into.
Do you
Where the
have
in-
access? Do you have access? Have you used Bing's API before? The Bing
I
chat.
have the beta or the testing when you
Yeah,
just go on.
it's out right now. That one they say uses GPT-4. Maybe try that one out, because here's that you know what I like about Bing's chat overall? It has direct access to the internet. I think that's a big thing too. I think if once these chatbots like have real direct access to the internet, it'll be a lot harder for them to make a mistake. That's a big deficiency right now, in my opinion.
Misinformation is a part of that.
Oh
as
yeah,
well.
yeah, that is true. That is true. Actually, you can write any article and get. Yeah, that's actually very true. Yeah, this is where. Yeah, this convo is getting crazy now. There's a lot of possibilities opening up. Think about it. You could really people could put any bullshit on the internet, and these chatbots won't do anything wrong. They're just going to analyze what's on there. So yeah.
They're gonna have to vet their source, I guess, to get the
Yeah,
data.
that's a good product. Yeah, you're right. That's actually a very big a vetting source product, or something to analyze the data and make sure it's from somewhere reputable.
Thanks for your feedback.
Yeah, man. Thank you.
Is there anyone else that wants to ask a question?
What up, my
Hey,
friend?
Hey, thanks for your questions and answers and everything so far. It's been really interesting. Kind of jumping off of what the last question here about like less about determinism, but like
I love the way you phrased that. Less about determinism.
just on these things that are coming from like based on garbage input, garbage output we're talking about here. And that's where we get into things like racist AI and
Yeah.
all the trash that is on the internet that gets fed into these things, and then you have to put safeguards on the output that then people try to break it to get around those things, all that stuff. But in my experience in some of these technical things, when I've prompted ChatGPT, like, hey, write a Python script to do a find and replace using regex in this particular way, it's the code it gave me didn't fully run, and I had to do a lot of work in order to get it to run. But I also didn't know Python at the time, enough Python to understand why it wasn't working.
You know Python?
Like enough to run that one script.
Yeah.
But it's like, because those prompts aren't being generated perfectly, we're getting this imperfect output of these things. And if you don't know enough about the thing in order to be able to fix the output that you get, or to edit it to fix the way you want it to work, you're not going to necessarily know what's wrong with it and be able to diagnose it. And it almost presupposes that you have some familiarity with the topic already.
Yeah, I think that's actually what's motivated me to learn Python. Is I'll be honest, you guys, I'm not an expert. I really like that. Like, you're more of an expert than me, man. Like, what are you kidding me? For sure. So that's, you said it best, is I want to learn how to be able to, I want to be able to communicate with this thing. And to answer your question, I think I want to ask you a question. Do you feel like, it seems like to answer the solution to that problem you just stated, where is just to build these things to be smarter and smarter, to the point where you could be like, where it can analyze your emotion. Let's say you're watching a movie, right? And you know you have to do a job, and it can read and say you're lazy and say, I'll do that for you. Don't worry, sit down, finish your movie. Like, that's where I'm curious. Do you feel like, are you worried when you guys hear these words of it? Are you worried? Because I do feel like that's where people are going to build it to. Are you worried as these things grow stronger and stronger? Like, what are your thoughts about this?
With the talk about everything being on the attention economy, and like, oh, it's going to replace all these jobs, it's going to replace this, it's going to replace that. Like, there's a whole lot of humans on this world that aren't going to be able to support their way of living and their standards of living currently, unless there's a whole lot more money that comes out of people being paid for their attention. And so that's kind of what the problem I see with this argument with the attention economy.
Say that again. Can you explain more in detail?
Sorry, I can't hear you. What?
Can you explain that more in detail? What's that problem? That's specific.
If attention is the valuable thing on the internet, we do not currently get the monetization of that. Google gets the monetization of that.
Yeah.
And if we become nothing more than things that can give attention, we still have fucking bills. So how's that going to work out for all the people who aren't becoming content creators on all this sort of stuff?
So my friend, that's my purpose in technology. That's my value prop, is exactly what you just said, is how do I get away to get people who don't want to fucking put this camera in front of them, or don't want to even do this, who have bills to pay, as you said, to quickly, that is my whole purpose, to quickly get paid through digital work. That's what I think that's the next wave of tech products. But here's to answer your question is, this is what I said in 2021. I really, and this is going to sound crazy, but I say this I really in my heart believe that we will support our families through game loops. We will gaming products. Even if look at every SocialFi platform, whatever it may be. Look at Twitter and these social media platforms. Instead of us scrolling through social media, these are going to evolve into a point, in my opinion, where we walk around in an open world and collect items. That's going to be content. So I think that's 20 years. I'm just saying. So my whole thing on this is, I think that there needs to be a wave of tech products that pay creators per product. That is for me. I'm not going to sit back and say, hey, here's why I'm not going to sit back. I'm not going to sit back and say, hey, okay, don't post content, take another route, because there's people in this world, while we're out here figuring out these problems, living lavishly away from all these, causing these problems for us. I'm pretty sure the people at the top, the government, I'm not going to get into the conspiracy theory talk. I'm not into that. I'm not that expert. I'm not an expert on politics, but I know that right now, the working class people like us, the reason I want to post content is because I see these people where they're not trading their time for money. They're not going from 9 to 5 like my mom is, like my sister studying all the day. They're at home with their family, enjoying life, being internally happy, and generating revenue. I just look at it from those two variables. You're hanging out with the people you love, so you're internal happy, and you're generating revenue. So for me, I want to create my whole purpose of what you guys want to know, what I'm really in Las Vegas for, is I want to create a product where every piece of content, I'm just going to tell you guys what it is because I'm building it. It's called Hook Me, where it's a video platform. It's a video platform where you watch the first 5 seconds of the video, and if the user wants to watch the rest of it, he collects the video in some shape or form. It could be 5 cents a video. A simple collect method, you get access to the rest of the video. If you can get paid for each video you put out directly, whereas the user is going to keep 99% of the revenue. I'm going to keep 1%. That's completely different, where I don't need to keep the rest. I have other ways of making money. So that's my whole plan, is I think there's going to be a group of people, a wave of tech products that are, if you even know, exclusive content. People, I'm going to tell you guys this, what I learned from Eat Denver. A lot of companies are built in crypto, looking at the OnlyFans model, including my best friends, my boss, my former team. They're building exclusive content models for podcasting, for the healthcare space, for engineering. Exclusive content's the new wave, as you said. Listen, if there's someone shows me an avenue where we can make money in the physical world still, I would love to explore. I'm looking to stay away to go completely digital. I do see negative connotations to that.
Any other questions?
You guys are all from San Diego, by the way.
Yeah.
Can I ask you guys a question?
Yeah.
Go.
Answer this honestly, because San Diego is one of my favorite. I was just in San Francisco for a year. How is living in San Diego? Is it really as beautiful as good as people say it is?
Yes.
Let's
Comfortable today, pretty nice.
everyone who's answered here has universally said yes. I'll just say this. I want to get property, like physical real world property. And every time I think about it, I'm like, I could go somewhere else and I could get a whole hell of a lot more house and a whole hell of a lot more land. But then I wouldn't be in San Diego.
So how is San Diego better than LA? LA is my favorite city in the world.
Go somewhere else.
Is it? Is San Diego more beautiful than LA?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, really?
And
Really?
and you don't have fucking LA traffic.
Yeah, I know. Oh, yeah. I know. Yeah, that's got it. Wait, you're acting like there's no traffic in San Diego.
Not
No,
really.
not really.
Not really.
That's pretty amazing. Yeah. Wow. They say San Diego is the best city in California. So
Literally,
echo. There's an echo. Oh,
15 minutes. 15 minutes around everywhere.
Yeah.
I moved here like 5 years ago.
hey, that wasn't too bad, Valerie.
And then we here, I was cousin like, oh, man, I love California. I moved from East Coast, like Maryland.
Mm.
And I lived for a year. And asked me if I want to move somewhere else. I'm like, I don't know. I doubt it. Not the price, nothing stops you living here. Like, you just enjoy the weather. Like, right now, flowers are blue. How can you explain to a different person? Like, everything is blooming. It's like super nice.
Can you hear him?
A little bit, yeah. From Maryland, he was talking about Maryland.
Yeah.
Where from Maryland? Oh. I have a friend in Baltimore. I'm curious about Maryland as well. I want to travel. I'm like, you guys, my goal, you guys can remember this on this call. Next year, I want to move to Cape Town, just disappear. Let's go gone. That's, at the bottom of the world. That's just, I want to go away. So yeah, these robots are coming in. I'll let everybody play around with these and I'll just make content from somewhere in Cape Town. Yeah.
You thinking about coming down here for a little bit?
I was actually San Diego. I wanted, like, as I said, LA was my favorite city in the world, but so I wanted to move to Cali after I'm back in Vegas. I'm talking to my former bosses, seeing what they're up to. And I'm picking my next move, my next plan to where I'm going to move. Recently I've caught a little bit of a wave, Keegan. I don't know if you've seen my Instagram, but I want to explore this and really build my platform this summer. And then I'm going to head out probably. I don't know where to move. I really want to, this is a very important decision. I do believe, no disrespect to you guys, Las Vegas is, just because I get San Diego's more beautiful, because we're so cheap and open late and clean and modern. I think that's good. I know San Diego's more beautiful. No one will say this, but I do love Las Vegas. But I need to pick a great, I want to pick somewhere where I can call home. So that's my next goal.
Wow. Well, this is becoming the Web3 NFT hub here.
What is San Diego?
I don't know if you heard. Yeah. So I don't know if you're part of the team.
Oh. Who's your sports teams? Hold on. Who are your sports teams? That's very important for me.
5 cents. 5 cents.
Oh yeah, you guys lost your Chargers. I forgot.
No, LA.
Yeah, Padres.
Padres.
Oh yeah, Padres. Yeah. Go Padres. Fake enthusiasm. Yeah, go Padres. Anyways, Valerie, I do think I need to head out. It's 9. I want to go. It's going to take me 20 minutes to go back home to my parents. But I just want to say, everybody, I'm actually going to send you this auto GPT thing. I'm going to make it very simple. Just hopefully it's something different than anything you guys have seen. And yeah, thank you. I just want to say it was really cool talking to everybody.
Well, thanks, man.
Thank you, Sina.
Boss. Thank you. Stop. All right, don't clap for me. Don't clap. All right, ciao. Love you guys. Thank you for having me. Ciao. Peace. I'll text you, Keegan. Thank you, Valerie.
See you.